Most guys spend years training calisthenics but never look any bigger. And I know that because when I was 14, I wasted a ton of time doing flashy skills, flashy movements just to look cool. But after 7 years of training, I learned exactly what it takes to build muscle with calisthenics fast. So in this video, I'll break down principles, strategies, and lessons that you need to implement in your training to build muscle with calisthenics faster than anyone else. So why is it that actually most calisthenics athletes stay small in the first place? Well, that is because a couple of key components. In my opinion, it's the big three mistakes that almost every single beginner makes, and that I also used to make, that is gonna prevent you from building muscle every single time. The first one is not sticking to a clear set routine. The routine that you enjoy, the routine that you can progress with, the routine that you actually know exactly what to do and you can just follow it mindlessly. If you don't have that and you keep switching every single time from routine to routine, workout to workout, exercise to exercise, progression to progression, you're never really going to build muscle. And that is the mistake that I see the most beginners actually make. Every single time when they go into the gym or when they go to the park or at home, they're trying to do everything at once. They have too many focuses. So if you have one focus, that way you can actually build muscle way quicker because your body is now going to be used to that focus, used to that thing that you're now doing, and you're going to be progressing quickly within it. If you keep making changes into your routine, if you keep setting new goals, making new changes, making new routines, new exercises, new goals for how many reps you want to get, new focuses, you basically are resetting your gains every single time you make a different change. Now, if you want to stop guessing and never really land in a plateau again and stick to a reliable workout routine with clear plans, clear structures, clear techniques that you can use time and time again to build muscle, then the top link in the description is where you should be. My Jacked by Calisthenics program is exactly what you need to go from skinny to jacked and become a more advanced calisthenics athlete to build more muscle in 6 months time. So if you still want to see that crazy muscle mass result in 2025, before 2025 ends, the top link in the description, that's for you. I'll see you inside. Now, second one is focusing too much on skill training and focusing too much on flashy movements instead of just trying to actually build muscle with it through hypertrophic calisthenics training. The difference between those two is that hypertrophic calisthenics training really focuses on the emphasis on building muscle. So if you have a routine where you're trying to train for front lever and train for back lever and train for planche and train for handstand push-ups, yes, you're going to build muscle because of course you're doing very difficult movements. Your body is having a hard time to stay stabilized, push itself up. So yes, it's going to be strong, build muscle. You're gonna look cool as fuck. The girl's gonna be looking at you, but that's not important. What I want you to do right now is focus on exercises that are time proven to build muscle very reliably. And in my opinion, that comes down to the basics. It's the push-up, the pull-up, the dip, the squat, lunges, maybe even a muscle up, but I don't even count that anymore. And just focus as much as you can on those and progressing within those. Now then, the common mistake following that is that they want to go to the most difficult variation of the push-up, the most difficult variation of the pull-up, the most difficult variation of the dip, but that's not actually needed. You don't have to immediately make the variation extremely difficult in order to build muscle. It's really not needed. It's unnecessary. It's bloated. You don't have to do that. If you just stick to these exercises and you change the variation up slightly, that builds muscle way more reliably and quicker. And then the third mistake is thinking that more is going to equal in more. My common mistake that I always used to make was more is better. But now I realize after 7 years of training, and I know it took a long time for me to get there, doing it better equals better. So if you have the push-up, instead of always trying to take it to more reps, more sets, more difficult variation, more, my mindset now has become better. Now, what do you think better actually means? Because better is subjective, right? What is better? Is more reps better? Is doing less reps better? Better form? My definition of a exercise that is performed better is increased performance. So you're doing it better with better control. You're actually able to do the push-up with very good form, good control, and you can actually do the movement properly. Then the second one is changed tempo. So if you can change the tempo, which also simultaneously kind of means more control, you're gonna build more muscle with it. If you can do that, then you're already increasing the push-up more towards a better chest exercise. Then the third one is deeper range of motion. If you can increase the range of motion on a push-up, you're already setting yourself up for more muscle in the future. So if you are the type right now who just looks at these exercises and keeps it the same forever, I'm sorry, you're missing out on potential gains. You're missing out, matter of fact, on a lot of gains. You could be making a shit ton of muscle, you could be making a shit ton of strength, size, but you're not actually getting there because you're not utilizing these key components that you can actually use to build more muscle. Now that leads us to chapter number 2. Train the foundations, but not the skills. Listen, man, if your main focus, and that's why you're on this channel, I'm assuming, if your main focus is trying to look better, you're trying to go from skinny to jacked, then why are you trying to master the handstand push-up? Why are you trying to master the balance of the handstand? Why are you trying to master these crazy front lever exercises? You don't need those. It's actually not needed at all to go from a normal row to a tuck row and then to a front lever row. You don't need to do that. You see my workout sessions, right? You see my workout footage right here. I'm not doing crazy flashy movements. I'm doing the basic and the fundamental exercises that built my physique in the first place, but I'm increasing my performance. I'm making it better over time. Now, what am I making better? As I just said, I'm increasing the range of motion. I'm making the form more clean, more pristine. I'm making it better when it comes to the overall control. That is what I'm increasing. I'm decreasing the tempo, the speed of the tempo, which is going to be allowing me to destroy my muscle fibers better. Have you seen my chest in this video? Why have I been able to build this chest? Why have I been able to build these arms? Not because I do handstand push-ups, not because I learned the planche, not because I did all of these shits. I don't even focus on that at all whatsoever. But what I do focus on is destroying my muscle fibers with the most reliable exercises. And those are exactly what I just explained. The push-up, pull-up, dip, the row, overhead press, such as the pike push-up, the basics that gets you jacked. Now, chapter number 2. How are you going to be overloading these exercises to be able to gain more muscle? Because I'm assuming that you're not really at that weighted calisthenics level that I'm at. If you're not at that level, then I don't want you to immediately go to weighted calisthenics and weighted push-ups, weighted reps. You don't need to. There are plenty of ways to progressively overload with your body weight exercises, and that way you can still build muscle very, very quickly. So I'm about to explain to you how you can progressively overload with just your body weight by using leverages and tempo. Those two things is something that we're going to change rapidly. So if you are already kind of used to normal push-ups, you are able to do sets of 20 quite clean, and you're able to do like 5 sets of 20 with some moderate rest in between, like maybe 1 to 2 minutes, then it's time for you to level up. It's time for you to go beyond what you're usually used to. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna change up the tempo first. If we change up the tempo first and we get you to do 10 push-ups instead of 20, but with a 3-second or 4-second negative, and then you explosively push up, you are gonna start to notice that the reps are gonna drastically drop and your muscles are gonna be way more pumped, more blood, and you're probably gonna experience more soreness because that negative is very hypertrophic. If we focus on that negative over and over again, we are going to build more muscle. You have probably heard everyone in the fitness industry or calisthenics industry, doesn't matter what sport, always say, take that negative serious. Take that eccentric very, very serious. And they say it for a reason. Why do they say it? Because we are stronger in the negative. That's where we're able to handle more load. Are you able to do a 225-pound negative dip? Maybe. Are you able to push it back up though? Probably not, if you're a beginner at least. But the negative, we can control a bunch of weight on it without going up. The reason why is because we can just handle more weight upon our body when we hold it or when we actually lower the weight. Obviously, right? Because of gravity, it's just normal. We are able to hold weight or lower weight very, very easily compared to pushing it up. So how should you train that in order to get more benefit out of it? By making that eccentric harder on yourself. When you make it harder, you're going to be gaining more muscle. So if you make that eccentric over-exaggerated slowly, right? And you just lower the weight extremely slow on a pull-up or on a dip, maybe even a squat or lunges, going extremely slow on every single rep when it comes to the eccentric, your muscles are now going to be worked very, very differently. I think there was even a study, like way back, there was even a study done, I think. I don't know, don't quote me on this. I don't know if it's correct, but I think I heard that somewhere, that they had people doing staircase walks all the way down and all the way up. One just did all the way up and then they went down differently or whatever, and one just went all the way down, and they're tested how sore they became. And the people who were doing the negative walks, which is basically catching yourself constantly, they were more sore and they built more muscle because they're constantly in that eccentric part of the movement. So if you're constantly just trying to focus on the concentric instead of the eccentric, you're definitely leaving some gains on the table, in my opinion. So use that tempo on the eccentric to build more muscle. Now, when it comes to the leverages, you can actually change up the variations very, very slightly, such as moving your hands a little bit closer so that you can get some more tricep love, or actually a little bit more wider so that you can get a deeper stretch on your chest, or going extremely close on a pull-up so that you can get a very deep stretch on your back and pull more weight or do more body weight reps. Or when you go all the way wide with some pull-ups, you can also get a very deep stretch on the bottom, and it becomes very hard to pull up and to get your chin over the bar, so that squeeze is going to be very, very intense. So make these changes into your routine every single now and then, right? So like you could do it every single 2 weeks. The moment when you realize, yo, I'm pretty comfortable on this variation, I'm going to change something very, very slightly, and that way you're going to build more muscle, because the body is not used to you changing up variations. If you stayed at the same position with the push-up or the pull-up or the dip for the rest of your life, then you're not really going to be seeing mad results like you would like to see. So that's why the first changes that I want you to make: tempo and leverages. So let's now get into chapter number 4, frequency and recovery. I want you to train smarter, but not just harder. So my roadmap for like the smart and hard work, always what I say in a bunch of videos: you first want to work hard so that you know what your smart work is, and then you want to work hard with that smart work. So the beginning part that I just explained, the previous 3 chapters, that is all the hard work. You're just going to be practicing your push-up, your pull-up, your dips to get to a good rep number, to be able to do them properly. That's hard work. Now that you know what smart work is, now you're going to be working hard on that smart work. So if you want to be doing that to the maximum potential by not sacrificing any recovery, then stick to about twice a week, where you're training each and every muscle group twice a week. It's very simple. So pick a split, pick a workout routine. In my opinion, the best workout routine is, of course, the routine that I use. I use the Arnold split. If you want to use the Arnold split with calisthenics and do it properly, then the top link is in the description. Every single detail that you need in order to go from skinny to jack within 6 months is in the top link in the description. So if you're interested in actually just cutting out the bullshit and just getting to work and implement all of the things that I'm saying for yourself, go to my community. It's right there. I'll see you inside. So now that you have found that smart work, everything that you're now able to do properly, which is your basic exercises, and you're progressing in the overload of it when it comes to the tempo, when it comes to the variation, range of motion, now we just want to be sticking to it with the right frequency. So twice a week per muscle group is just a sweet spot, man. If we want to build muscle, then why would we train every single day when resting is actually the time when they grow? So train them twice a week, every single muscle group, which would lead you to do like 6 days a week of workout. If that's fine to you, you can also decrease it a little bit, but that's most of the time what people want to follow. So go ahead and just do that. In the moment when you have that all the way set in, we're going to go to chapter number 5, which is going to be the action plan. How are we now going to actually grow muscle with the workouts that we have got for ourselves, with the exercises twice a week? How are we going to be doing that? Well, step number 1, our main focus should be hypertrophy. So if you want to gain muscle to the maximum of our ability, we want to focus as much as we can on destroying our muscle fibers. So how are we going to do that for these workouts and these exercises twice a week? Number 1, we want to focus on intensity. Every single workout that you do, you're going to be going as hard as you physically can. Now, what do I mean with as hard as you physically can? What do I mean with intensity? Intensity basically means how hard or how far can you take a single set. If you just spend 2 sets on the push-ups, 2 sets on the pull-ups, and on the dips, and you have some variations in there as well that you also practice, which basically means go until you fail a rep, and sometimes you even go beyond failure. So you add extra intensity techniques such as partial reps, holding at the bottom, rest and pausing, or drop setting. If you have done those 2 sets to failure, that is realistically all you need. So that should be your main mindset behind each and every single workout that you're going to do. So the moment when you start your workout routine, write this down right now: intensity is key. When you don't have your intensity down, you could actually be leaving so much of your gains on the table. So that should be your main focus. Make every single set as hard as you physically can. So that's the first one. And the second one is, don't focus on doing more sets every single week, because a lot of beginners always ask me, what should I now add in? I'm doing this for like 3 months now, 4 months. What should I now add in? I always say to them, don't add a single thing in. You don't have to add nothing. There's nothing for you to add in extra that could lead you to more muscle. It probably will lead you to gaining less muscle. So you don't need to actually add more to gain more. You just need to focus on upping the intensity every single time while making slight changes into routine with the range of motion, the variations, and the tempo. The three main pillars of progression in bodyweight training. So when you have done that, you don't need to change some things. You don't need to add in new exercises or new drop sets or new techniques. You don't need to add in no extra shit. You just need to learn how to train harder per set. So the moment when you have made a change in your routine when it comes to the variation, so you went from a easier pull-up variation to a harder one, which is perfect, then you now want to be applying the same intensity that you had on that easy variation to the hard variation. And that is something that you're going to be matching every single time when you train. So when you do this properly, in 6 months, you should actually gain more muscle if you, of course, eat enough, if you eat in a calorie surplus. But with that being said, you don't even need to be in a huge calorie surplus. A lot of people overestimate that. They automatically think that you need to be in a 4,000 calorie surplus to gain a little bit of muscle each and every single month. You don't actually have to. If you're sitting in a little calorie surplus, so you just eat a little bit extra than what you usually did, and you recover good, so you sleep good, you train the right frequency, and you progressively overload, work out and work out again, I'm sorry, the muscle is gonna come. They're just going to come if you stick to that. There's no reason for you to not gain muscle if you just stick to everything I say. So if you want to actually do this and start today with the right way of calisthenics training, then go to the top link in the description. My Jacked by Calisthenics blueprint is exactly what you need to start right now if you want to actually start to look like me and go from skinny to jacked, because that's what the fuck you want, right? Well, 2026 is almost here, so you might as well just take the step, take the leap, and start gaining muscle. With that being said, thank you for watching, and watch this video next, because in this video, I'm gonna be showing you what training strategies you actually need to use to gain quick strength with calisthenics.